Okay, so my name is April Bach. I'm a teacher at Black Mountain Elementary School, and I am here today to talk about 5th grade and our first week of social studies. And one of the things that we're talking about is our economy. This whole unit for the next week to 2 weeks is going to be about our economy and how we affect our economy. So, the first question is, what is an economy? An economy is anything that is established to trade money or things that you think are valuable. So, as a people, we decide what has value and what doesn't. If it has value, then we can trade it for things. So we've already decided that money has value, right? Because it was created a long time ago. Because somebody said, we need a basic thing that has value that we can make more of, that everybody will know that it has a specific value, and they could trade that for the thing that they need and use what they receive to purchase something that they need that's different. So it goes from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. So right now, we are experiencing a stressed economy in one way or another. So how is the coronavirus affecting the economy, and how? How do you think it's affecting the economy? Some examples would be, we have factories that produce toilet paper and paper towels and hand sanitizer and cleaners and food, and they literally create everything. Different types of factories or manufacturers. And as a people, we decide how much value each of those things is worth. So right now, particular things that are worth a lot would be toilet paper, paper towels, hand sanitizer, and disinfectants of any kind. So those have a lot of value. The other thing that you're seeing around is masks. People are making masks. And this is going back to the very basic of economy. You have people in your community who are making these masks for healthcare workers and people who work with the community to help protect them. So the healthcare workers see that as a great value. They think these masks are a huge value to them, and they are worth money and other things in order to achieve that and get those masks to help protect themselves, because our government or the economy is unable to provide all of that for them in a timely fashion. So we see places all over the country that have said, please help our community make masks. Do you know how to sew? Do you know how to collect these things? Do you know what kind of fabric you need? Here's some fabric. I got all this fabric, but I don't know how to sew, but I picked it up at a yard sale. And somebody says, I know how to sew. I can make some of those. So they're working together to provide the things that our hospitals and our healthcare workers need. The healthcare workers and our community have decided that there's great value in this product. So they are asking for extra help, and people who have the skills can provide that. Okay, so it also affects what people think. So you have these people who know how to sew, you have, wait a second, why is our community having to sew these again? I thought we had a ton of those. Well, we see disposable ones all the time, but not to this mass. We need a lot of them, many, many of them. And in order to get those, the supply chain is not able to provide it as quickly as the people who live in your community and have a sewing machine. So they're getting what they need based on that. At the same time, the people are saying, wait a second, why do we have to make these? They're looking at the government and they're looking at manufacturers going, what's your problem? And the reality is we just need more now than we ever needed before. And in order to accommodate that, it takes time to set those machines up in order to produce the amount that they need. And this is how the community has decided to solve it. And honestly, it's probably a lot faster, and it gives people a way to make money when originally they might not have been able to sell those before, and now they do. So in some ways, it helps our economy a lot, to have those local people providing for local places, whereas instead of ordering from, I don't know, New York for Arizona, when it's going to take 3 days to get here to begin with. That's after they make them, package them, hire more people to help them create all of that. So it gets a little bit complicated when we go farther out. So that's our next topic, is what is affecting our economy right now? What is a specific economic issue that we're dealing with? Well, that's what we were just talking about. We have all of these things that affect our local economies versus our larger economy as a country. Okay, so what type of economic issues are affecting companies here in the United States? Well, if everybody goes and buys a lot of toilet paper, then the toilet paper companies are like, yay, more, we're selling more, and all the stores are ordering more, and we're sending them more and more product so that the stores can sell it. What happens when this is all over and everybody has tons of toilet paper and tons of paper towels? Well, most likely they're going to do some trading within the community, within their knowledge of people. What's that going to do to our manufacturers? Are they going to be producing the same amount that they just hired 1,000 workers to help make what we needed right now? So when this is over, we're going to have a lot of people who are working who might not have jobs then because of they don't need to produce quite as much anymore. The other issue that we have to look at is why did the United States expand their territory once their economy was set up? So they have their economy, they have things, okay, you can practice any religion that you want. It's okay, it's all acceptable. You can make a church if you want to, so you have a group of people and you say, okay, we're all going to do this one religion, so we want to put a church right here so all of our friends can come there instead of to my house. Okay, so they do that, and then you have a different church over there, and then the one guy says, you know what, I think I know the people to order products from to stock a grocery store. And I know farmers, so I'll do the grocery store, and they start getting everything set up, and they have their whole economy. They say this coin has value. We're going to call this a penny, and you need however many pennies to buy each thing. And so then money has value because we said it did. We said you can buy things in our community with a penny and however many pennies it says on it. Okay. And then after they were pretty well and established, they're like, this is okay, this is good, it's working well. Then they're looking around and all these people coming from all these places and saying they want to be here. And they're like, you should hear their stories of the things that are going on in their country. And somebody's like, what? There's things going on. Oh, that's not right. That's not okay. You shouldn't do that. That's not okay to do to people. And well, they grow things there that we can't grow here. They have really good, rich soil that they can grow lots of corn. They get more rain than we do. And, we're getting kind of full in our community right now. So, well, how do we get that territory? How does that become part of the United States? And then they go through and we acquired more territory. Without lack of a better way to explain that, we kind of invaded somebody's space and said, you know what? I have this thing that you can't grow, and you have this other stuff that we can't grow. So how about we trade? And it starts out as a trade, and then they say, you know what? We need more product and you're not making enough. And they say, well, we don't have enough people. Oh, well, we have lots of people and we can help you with that. So how about we send some workers down to you, and then you give us some of the product for the workers that we're going to send to you. And it rotates like that, and we keep moving toward and incorporating other areas into the United States as there's more people from America in those spaces. And today, it's pretty much done the same way. We just kind of ran out of land because we put these borders up that said this is your part of the country, this is your part of the continent, you can have this space and we're going to have this space, and we'll trade. So you'll go to the grocery store and see that lots of your vegetables and fruits might be from Mexico. You'll see in Mexico, maybe they would see products from California and things from maybe Canada, and we have lots of things that say made in China, because we're trading with each other, because they have the capability to make something that we want, that we feel is valuable. So the same idea in another country, something that we have is valuable to them, but not necessarily have the same value to us here. So we trade. So there's different assignments on your digital access, and you also have different assignments on your packets. Something to think about, and an assignment that you have to think about, and it's just conversation, you don't have to write anything down. You're going to ask your parents, go outside, before you ask your parents, you're going to go outside and you're going to look around your yard and decide, what if I want to plant a garden right there? And it's not our property, it's somebody else's property. You need to ask your parents, if you wanted to plant a garden right there, how could you make that piece of property that doesn't belong to you part of your property, so that you could grow the garden that you want to grow? And you need to take that answer and figure it out of how could you convince whoever does own that property, or maybe it's not owned by anybody but the county, then you would need to figure that out. Who owns that property, and how do I incorporate that piece of property to be part of my property, or borrow that piece of property to grow what I want to grow on it? So that's your homework for 5th grade, and we'll see you next week.